You have been doing the side hustle all wrong. Today I want to talk to you guys about doing a side hustle, and specifically doing a side hustle in the party rental business. Now, a side hustle is literally, by definition, a means of income that you can do on the side that is not enough for you to, make a living off of, but it is enough to put a little extra in your pocket and make things a little easier for you. It's second job is what we used to call them. We've all done it. We've all seen it. We've all been a part of it. We've all, participated in the side hustle as a means to, just make a difference, make that money, and make those ends meet. In today's day and age, it's something that you gotta have. You literally gotta have it because it's tough. It's really tough, especially if you're, trying to do the things that everyone else is trying to do, trying to make the money, trying to, pay the bills, buy a house, buy a car, put a kid in college, do whatever you're going to do. It's tough. You've got to have something that's going to, alleviate some of that pressure off you, because honestly, we've been squeezed 100% to where everything is what, what you need to survive. And even with two incomes in a household, sometimes it's difficult to where you literally are just making enough to make that living. So, I started this video by saying that you're doing it all wrong, and it used to be that what you did was you did a side hustle, you made that side money, you put that a little extra into the kitty, and that was what it was worth. But the problem with the party rental business is that if you're not careful, you can go backwards really, really quick. It could be a situation where you're actually losing money, or it's costing you money to do the business, and that's no way to be in business. So what I want to talk about is how you approach a side hustle in the party rental business and make it to where it's going to be something that is worth you. This does not apply to trying to do this full time. It doesn't apply to, because you really have to approach that a little different. This is for the people who are doing this as a part-time gig, that are doing this, to make those extra money. First and foremost, you need to watch your pennies, watch your nickels, watch your dimes, watch every dollar that goes through. If you're in it to make money, then you're in it to make money. You losing stakes, you losing cords, you losing, blowers that fall off the back of trucks, or whatever is going on that is costing you money, you have to stop that. Because when you're doing this as a side hustle, you need to optimize the amount of money that you're making. Okay? So what that means is that you cut out all the stuff that is not an asset, and all those things that are liabilities, you watch over them like a hawk, and you make sure that you are getting every dime's worth out of everything. You learn how to fix stuff, because buying new stuff is just not going to be in the option. And I'm not talking about, putting stuff out there that's unsafe or anything like that, but I'm talking about you need to learn how to fix the capacitors in blowers in case your blower goes out. You need to learn how to, whatever you need to do to save money on the flip side. Because again, where you're going to draw off most of your money in this side hustle are the things that are going to be lost, be broken, need repair, and the whole 9 yards. It's not going to be the units. The units are going to make you money. And it goes for your truck as well. You need to make sure you're maintaining it. Make sure you're trying to do things that you can do to avoid spending money. And that is our second thing is that don't get into a situation where you are just throwing money out the door by making extra trips or by going the long route or by, whatever. It could be as simple as not planning your oil changes or your tire changes. And if you have a blowout and you have to buy something on the side of the road, or if you have to buy something that's close and available, it's going to cost you twice as much. A $100 tire can cost you $200 if you're in need. And they know that. The companies know that. That's why they're in business. If you see someone that's convenient on the side of the road that's open on Sunday, and he's going to charge you. He's just going to make the money, and you're going to pay it because that's what you have to do. The point is if you plan for this, if you make sure that you're buying things when you're supposed to buy, and you're replacing your tires, you're doing your oil changes, you're doing that maintenance when you're supposed to, you get the better price. And the same thing is true for everything else. Look for the deals on cords, look for the deals on blowers, look for the deals on tarps, because none of that stuff is making you any money. So you might as well buy it when you have the ability to make money. So make sure you have a little bit of money, set aside so that you can make those purchases when it's cheapest and not when you need it. Because if you have to go buy, a 100-foot cord or a 50-foot cord at a at a hardware store, you're going to pay out the nose for that. So just understand it and know it, because you don't want to be in a situation where you're going to get hurt for something that you could have avoided. You need to also maximize your equipment, maximize your ability to make money, which means you need to do the shorter, 4-hour events. You need to do double up. You need to, try to upsell. You need to do anything and everything that you could do to make as much money for as least amount of input that you do. Now, that being said, and this is going to be a shock to everybody, I have researched every single kind of event out there, and I'm here to tell you right now, 100%, the number one event that you can get into in a side hustle that you're going to make the maximum amount of money off of is a backyard party. Now, you can see that, well, this festival has 10 units and they're making tons of money and blah, 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 blah. What you're not seeing is all the expense that goes in that, all the time, all the labor, all the entry fees, all the other stuff. Don't try to get into things that are going to cost you a lot of money or a lot of time. The number one thing that you can do that's going to optimize your amount of money, the number one event that is literally dollar for dollar, the most amount of money for the least amount of effort and time, is the backyard party. Period. It costs you the least to land them. It costs you the least to do them. It costs you the least to collect them. And most importantly, the risk is also lowest. If you have 5 events and they're all backyard parties and you lose one of them, you've only lost 20% of your revenue. If you have a big event where you have 5 units at it and the event is rained out, you've lost 100%. Period. That's what it boils down to. So you need to try to maximize everything that you can do to make money and minimize everything that's going to cost you money. Now let's talk about what you're going to do with your money. Okay? As a side hustle, there's certain things that you need to do. And one of them is not to draw a salary. Do not draw a salary, because that's not where you're going to max your money out of. And it's going to actually cost you money, because it's going to cost you a lot in taxes and a lot of other things. What you want to do in your side hustle is you want to alleviate bills. You want to make sure your side hustle is taking care of your truck payment. You want to make sure that your side hustle is taking care of your insurance payment. Make sure your side hustle is taking care of your phone payment. All of those things that can be siphoned over to your side hustle, that can be used as a means to alleviate some tax burden, and at the same time free up some of the money that you get from your regular job. Remember, this is a side hustle. This isn't your main income, so stop drawing money off of it. That being said, stop paying people. Do the work. You need to do the work. You guys are looking a little round around the midsection like me. You need to do the work. Stop paying people. Stop putting your money out there for someone else to make, because I promise you this is what's going to happen. You're going to need them and they're not going to show up, which means you're going to have to do it anyway. And on top of that, you're going to be stretched so thin that you're going to do stuff poorly. It's going to cost you money, or you're going to have to, scramble and try to find someone and pay more money. It's going to cost you in the end. So only take on the amount of work that you can do that is going to save you money, that is going to, make you money. Stop trying to create businesses for other people, because what you're going to do is create a business where you're not making money. Now, that being said, using your family is fine, because they need to be a part of this. They need to be a part of what's going on. If you have, kids that are older, if you have a spouse that's willing, if you have brothers or sisters, whatever your situation is, those are the kind of people that you need to use, because one, they're going to be a little bit more reliable. Two, they're going to understand the money situation, and they're going to be invested in trying to build something that you're trying to build. So you're going to be in a situation where it's going to be much, much better for you to try to get them into the business and keep them rolling, and at the same time you're making the money that you need to make to pay those bills that are going to alleviate some of your pressure. And you can even do it for them as well. I mean, if you get big enough as a side hustle, why couldn't you do the same for them? And you need 2 trucks, so why not have them use a truck and you pay for it? You know how much a truck costs? Monthly payments? You know how much a person costs for work? So, if you could get a brother or an uncle or somebody and say, listen, I'm going to get you this used truck and we're going to pay the insurance on it. You can use it all you want, but here's the catch. You got to help me on weekends deliver these bounces. You got to do at least 4 a weekend, or, whatever it is, whatever it works out to make the money right. So now you're spreading that cost, and what you're also doing is you're developing your business so that you can move, if you want to, you can move it into a full-time gig, or you can move it into something that's bigger or better, or going to create a situation for you that makes sense and makes more money. Now, what you don't want to do is, again, get into a situation where it's costing you money, or it's a trap to where you continue to have to pay money. Things like insurance, you have to have. So you need to have a conversation with your insurance company and find out where your levels are at. Don't grow beyond your business. That goes for auto insurance. It goes for the bounce house business. That goes for all of it. If they say you can only make X amount of dollars, then only do X amount of dollars. Only budget it up to that level. Make your business the level that it needs to be to do the business. Don't make don't chase after that bigger and bigger step, because what you're doing is you're chasing after those bigger bills as well. Your insurance is going to go up exponentially if you keep doing the things that you're doing. And what you don't want to do is get in a situation where you're working for the insurance company, or you're working for, you've got so many units now that you've got to have a storage facility instead of your garage or the barn, or whatever you're doing. Well, that's crazy. Now it's costing you money. You're paying someone else. You're doing someone else's side hustle is renting storage units, and you're making their dream come true. Why? Why aren't you doing your dream? Stop doing other people's dreams. Do your dream. As a side hustle, You want to make sure that you're making the money for you, and that you're doing, and then at the same time you're building this business. Now look, you're building your inventory, you're building your customer base, you're doing things as you go along, so that in year 2, year 3, year 5, whenever you're ready to jump off, whenever you're ready to dive in, you're in a situation where you can make tons of money, because you have the customer base, you have the equipment, you have the personnel, you have the equipment, you have everything trained, you have your trucks, your insurance, everything's in line. Everything is ready to go. Everybody's where they need to be so that you can make money. Jumping into this year 1 and saying, I'm going to make this a full-time business, you can absolutely do. But you better have a pile of money to get started. It takes money to make money. And if you want to build this business from the ground up, then you have to do it. I literally worked a job. I've been doing the bouncy business for 20 years. I worked a job for 17 years. And I didn't have to. Honestly, I made a ton of mistakes. All the things that I've just told you not to do, I did. I hired people. I built giant company, and had to buy tons of insurance, and still do. My fleet insurance, I got 5 vehicles, and they sit in my yard. They sit in my yard in the off season, and I pay insurance on them. I pay whatever. They just sit there. They would be much better being put to use, doing other things. Now, I get it. You're gonna have to work out the differential. Who's going to take care of the maintenance? Who's going to take care of the gas? Are you going to split the insurance? Are you going to pay the whole insurance? What's going to go on? If you give somebody a vehicle, what's going to be the split side of it? And you got to work all that out. But those are your numbers. You need to figure it out. But what you can do is, like I said, create a situation where this kind of stuff is alleviating money and freeing up money on your side. Now, I want to caution you: when you free up money. Money that is free is free. It is not money that needs to be stuck back into the business. Don't free up money and then turn it right back around and put it in the business, because all you're doing is creating a situation where you might as well just put the money in from the beginning. So don't, pay your truck payment with this and then take the money from the truck payment and put it right back into the bouncy business. You can't. What you have to do is you have to scale your bounce business so that you partition off parts of your income for parts of what's going on, and that includes growth, marketing, everything that's required to do the business itself, your vehicles, your insurance, the whole 9 yards. And there's not going to be a lot of money left. There's not. You don't want there to be a lot of money left. You want to make nothing, because this is a write-off. This is a tax situation. This is not a situation where you're trying to create an income. You're not doing that. You're trying to alleviate bills, and that comes with those particular benefits on the tax side. And again, talk to your tax folks and figure out what that means. But on the flip side, make sure you're doing things right. Make sure you got all your inspections, and again, that's going to cost you money. Make sure you've got all your business licenses and you're paying your sales tax, or whatever your state requires, whatever those things. Do it right. Do it right, and you won't ever be in a situation where it's going to hurt you or cost you or whatever. A lot of people, again, get into the situations where you fall behind on your taxes, and man, they will eat you alive on your interest rate. The same thing with a credit card or something. If you buy things with credit cards for your business, or go into debt with your business and the whole 9 yards, you're paying someone else's dream. You're literally doing stuff for other people. You're doing things that are making other people happy, but they're not making you happy. You're literally working for other people. You need to alleviate as much of that as you can. And it's going to be frustrating. You're going to want to grow. You're going to miss something. You're going to have an event that requires 5 units, and you're only going to have 4. And you're going to be so mad. You're going to, I wish I had this obstacle course. I wish I had this axe throw. I wish I had, then I could, if I only did then, if I only did then. That never ends. It is never fulfilled. It never goes to the actual end of that. It always continues. It always keeps going. There's always another if then. There's always another requirement. So what you need to do, figure out your niche. What's it going to take for you to do a bounce house backyard party? What's it going to take? You need a truck. You need a bounce house. You need a blower. You need some stakes. You need a cord. You need a tarp. You need insurance. You need a hand truck. You need a strong back. You need some gas. That's what you need to do. Fulfill that part of it. And then let it start growing organically. Let it start being a part of it. Now, there's a ton of stuff that you're going to have to do. You're going to have to market in the whole 9 yards. But finding your target audience is probably the biggest thing you can do first. If you're looking to do churches right out the gate, you're competing with me. Do you you can't compete with me. And again, I'm not trying to brag, are you? I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to say that I'm a better person than you, but I've done this for a long time. I've established the relationships with my customers. I've created the income. I pay my insurance. I've got the trucks. I've got the men. I've got everything that I need. You don't have half of that. And the first thing a church is going to do, especially a big church, is going to say, hey, but do you got this? And your first impulse is going to be to run out and get that for this one rental and spend that money for this one rental. And then it's going to sit in your barn or your storage facility or whatever, your garage, until you need it again. Or you're going to try to have to push it, which means you're going to be pushed into a niche. Snow globe is a perfect example. I had a church that was doing a Christmas event, and this was 10 years ago. And we do church events all the time. It's not a problem. And it was the same thing. They wanted a snow globe, and I was small, and I wanted the church, and so I went out and bought a snow globe. And I used it for that church. They did 3 different events that year. And that was it. And then we're in Georgia. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Georgia weather. And I don't know if you're familiar with how a snow globe works. But a snow globe is basically a greenhouse. What it does is it traps heat and light and everything. It's just literally, it is a greenhouse. So I don't get to use it except for Christmas. And guess what? We did that last year. We're doing something else this year. That was the church's response. So I'm scrambling. I'm trying to find another church to do this at. And I'm taking away all of my efforts from everything else that I should have been doing. Now, guess how many bounce houses went out during that time? A ton. For churches, for backyard parties, for everybody else. So I spent my effort on this snow globe because that's what the church wanted, and I was young and I was hungry and I wanted to get into it. And again, there's nothing against snow globes. There's nothing against, but you need to pick the party that you are. You need to pick the kind of company that, if you're going to be a snow globe company, go be a snow globe company. Which means you put all your effort into that, and if you're going 100% after churches, then that's what you do. But it's going to be work, it's going to be hard, and it's going to be full of the ups and downs, and those kind of things are hard to flatten out. They're not easy to fix when weather turns bad and every event is outdoors, or when economic times change and the church is hurting and You know, a lot of people don't realize that churches operate just like us. When times are good, times are good. When times are bad, times are bad. The first thing that goes is you. So don't think that you're going to be saved by something that is going to cost them money, because they don't have the money. They don't have the ability to do this. So you've got to create that situation for yourself. I can't press this enough on you guys. Figure out your game plan. Figure out what you're going to pay. Figure out what you're going to do to make that. Figure out what units would rent the most. I'm in Georgia, water slides, 100%. I do bounce houses, you know, off season and fall and spring. South Florida, I got some friends down in South Florida. They can't move a bounce house for nothing. It's not worth it to them. To me, I do probably 100 bounce houses a year. I mean, it's a different situation. It's 100% a different opportunity. And you have to figure all that out before you get into this, or you have to ease your way into it. But I promise you, the best way to do it is to go what you know and do that first, and then build off of that. Small increments, small steps away from what is safe. Okay, you're in an area that allows for a water slide season. Buy 2 water slides and rent them out, and take your kids with you. Let them look at the catalog. Let them look at the website. Help you pick it out. Because I promise you, the customers are doing that. The customers are telling their kids, "Hey, come look at this on this website. Tell me which one you want." So you do the same with your kids. Those kids, and if you don't have kids, use your nieces or nephews, or use your neighbor's kids with their permission, or whatever you got to do. Find some kids. Those are the ones you need to figure out are the ones that are going to pick it, and get a few. Get a consensus. Pick out the units that are going to make you money, and then start taking small steps away from that. So if you start off with slides, and you want to add something, add a wet dry combo. It's still got a slide involved, and it's got a bounce area, or an obstacle that's got a wet dry obstacle that you can use with water. Or you see what I'm doing? I know that water slides in Georgia are going out. My slides, wet or dry, can go out 10 months out of the year. That's my bread and butter. So those are the ones that I use. Now I take small steps away from that, and I create my inventory off of that, and those also go big. What I don't do is I don't get in a situation where I'm buying things that are out of the ordinary, or I buy things that are impulsive, or I buy things that are themed. Again, pick your, if you want something that works for Christmas, buy a green bounce, a green and red bounce. You can use that. If you want something that works for, here's the funny thing. I have a local college. Their team colors are orange and black. They do a ton of events. Halloween colors are orange and black. There are some other professional league teams that use orange and black. The color of a tiger is orange and black. I mean, you see what I'm doing? I'm expanding. I'm trying to find every little niche that I can get something that's orange and black into, so that I can create this opportunity. And you have to drop this in front of your customer's face. You have to tell them, hey, you guys want to have a whatever party. This is what I have, and this is how it fits. And I've made this really neat graphic that goes around it that shows you that this is my orange and black tiger bounce house. And it's not. It's an orange and black bounce house. It's a Halloween bounce house. It's a local college bounce house. It's a whatever you want it to be. That's what it is. So you need to make sure that you're not in a situation where you've got something that is so themed, a pumpkin bounce that you're trying to push in July. Now, is there a place for that kind of stuff? Absolutely. When you're big enough. It is not when you've got 5 units. And the same thing goes for, some of the other stuff, some of the other filler stuff, the games and the, those are, my games make a ton of money and they go out all the time. But they don't ever go out by themselves. Why would you buy a game that is literally going to be, for something else? Get a game off the shelf. Buy something cheap. And again, I don't want to hurt any of my manufacturers or anything. But go on to Amazon and look up Axe Throw game and look at the price. The unique thing about an Axe Throw game is they're not jumping on it. Do you really need? And again, I don't want you to buy anything that's not safe. And I don't want you to buy anything that's just going to fall apart and you not get your money out of it. So do your due diligence. But why would you buy an Axe Throw game for $2,000 when you could buy one on Amazon for $600 that looks good, fairly competent as far as its durability and stuff like that. And you're not paying, you're renting it for the same price that I'm renting my commercial job. So you're getting your money back a lot quicker than I am. And there's tons of other ways to do exactly that. Your marketing. Don't listen. And again, I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't. But if you're starting out, you got one thing over me and everyone else in the industry. Time. Use it. Do your own marketing. Figure out how to do it. Figure out how to do your Facebook ads. How do you do your Amazon? Do your Google ads. Figure out how to do everything and stop paying people to do it because you're building their dream. Stop building their dream. Please stop building their dream. Build your dream. And guess what? The funny thing is that once you learn all this, once you got it, 2 things. If you're good at it, you can make money of that. Number 2, nobody will ever overcharge you for that kind of stuff ever again. Can't. They cannot. You know what they're doing, you know how well they're doing it, you know where they're doing it, you know why they're doing it. How are they going to get over on you? How are they going to make money off of you? How are they going to pressure you or get you in a situation where you're not able to see right through everything that's going on? Can't create a situation like that. So you're only helping yourself. You're building it. Now, again, it takes a lot to do this full time. And again, you're a side hustle. I get it. And it takes a lot to keep doing it beyond. So there probably is going to have to be an exit strategy. 100%. But what you don't want to do is create a situation where you're relying upon someone else, or I see a ton of people that somebody built their website and somebody owns their domain name and somebody owns their everything. They have you. Don't you understand that you can never walk away from them, and that's why they do what they do? They create that situation so that they can keep you right where they want you at all times. If they own your website, they own your domain name, they own your your Facebook page, they own your Google business page, they own where are you going to go? How are you going to create a business beyond me? All I got to do is thank you, and I will. If you're not paying me money, don't give away your business.
Destination is on the right.
I want to convey another message to you guys that's very, very important. And that is that the success of a party rental business is not determined by the number of pieces that it has. It is not determined by the number of trucks that it has. It's not even determined by the number of rentals that it does. The success of a party rental business 100% has two factors. One, how much money is being brought down to the bottom line. Again, you can make a lot of money, but if you don't keep it, you're not successful in a business. You're not successful in what you're doing. So keeping that money, keeping the most amount of money is absolutely 100% the way that you determine success. And the other one, and this is more personal than anything, is how much joy does it bring? How much joy does it bring to you? How much joy does it bring to your customers? How much joy does it bring to your family, your community, everyone around you? That can directly affect the first one, but is not influenced by the first one at all. So, take that for what it is, and understand that, a lot of people will try to get into your head and explain to you that I've got 700 million pieces and I do a gazillion rentals every year. How much money are you bringing down to the bottom line? That is the success staple. That's the measurement that you're going to have to determine for the success of your business. And if you develop your business around that line of thought,
Left onto US 23 South.
if you develop your business around that line of thought, what you're going to be left with is a successful that's going to bring so much more happiness and is going to achieve so much more for you and your family and your community and everything that's going on. It will bring you so much more peace than something that is creating a stress of where you got to figure out how do you make payroll, or how you got to make your bills, or how you got to do whatever you got to do in the whole 9 yards. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind 100%.